everyone. Welcome to the Spot Real Talk. My name is Tiara.
I'm Tiffany.
And I'm Ron.
And today we are here to talk about Your Honor. This was season 2, episode 4, titled Part 14. But before we jump into the discussion, I need you to drop down and click that subscribe button. Make sure you click that button right now and the like button so that you can show support for our channel and help us grow.
Please.
So, yes, now that we've gotten that out the way, let's go ahead and dive into this episode. Seems like it was all, starting off with Jimmy's birthday is kind of the big thing going on this episode. It's his 50th, and he is using this opportunity to invite Michael. And, there's always going to be a catch. Because it wasn't just out of his good heart that he's inviting Michael. He's trying to also get Charlie there. So he's trying to figure out one way or another. I'm going to make this deal that I want for my family to get that land. It's going to happen. And that, the party actually went well up until the point where it looked like he pulled Michael over and was talking to him, telling him he's the new part of the family. He did it very publicly. So now everybody knows that they share a grandson. And then he even used that opportunity to kind of spotlight the mayor. And it was like, oh yeah, this is his bestie, Charlie.
Yeah.
And why don't you be the godfather at that?
Well, look, Jimmy is no dummy. And he realized that with his status and bringing in a former judge and the mayor, and then taking a picture of
that part.
That's right there. That photo op. I mean, that put the mayor in a very compromising situation. Yes. Because now, Mayor, not only were you there at a party with a drug lord, but you are now the godfather of the godfather, excuse me, of the baby.
Yep.
Yeah, you got a lot going on there, Brother Charles. So you're in a pickle, even though you might not be in the jar, but you are a pickle. And so how do you deal with this? You can't.
Exactly. And then think about it too, what Olivia was doing to Michael, with the suit, because she's not just doing all of this stuff for him for no reason. She's not just getting him this nice tailored suit and trying to make him look prim and proper for the party so he looks good. She actually put a recording device in there, unbeknownst to Michael. So he's going in there blindsided. And suppose that when Frank had pulled Michael aside, suppose he hadn't discovered that there was a recording device in there beforehand. If they seen that, he could have got killed.
Right.
Yeah, so I was just like, Olivia is kind of like off the hook what she's doing, putting her people in danger that she's supposed to be helping.
Right, exactly.
She's so gung-ho on bringing the family down. She's using Michael as collateral damage, and she doesn't even care. Right. And speaking of collateral damage, Jimmy's wife Gina, like she and Carlo are so like hot-headed and irrational and emotional that she couldn't really see what Jimmy was trying to do. Like Jimmy plays the long game and he's a thinker. And so she was so pissed off that he was like, oh, he's embracing this man and inviting him to the party and everything. I was like, why can't she see what he's doing? He's trying to set them up and put them, like Ron said, in a compromising position in a photo op to make it that much easier to get to the goal. Like she wants to tar and feather, and she wants to behave like a brute. And everything. Exactly.
Well,
it's go ahead, Ron.
No, quickly, I just want to say there's some sexual improprieties going on with Gina and Carlo.
Carlo, right? It's weird.
It's a little weird for me. Now, I haven't seen it yet, and I'm not certain if we will ever see it. But there's something going on in Gina's head about that boy.
you remember how Tommy from Power used to interact with his mom, and we were always like, it's a little odd.
A little odd. There we go.
It's the same thing going on with Gina and Carlo, and I'm like, and he's trying to flirt with the receptionist and stuff, and she come up there busting up his groove, talking about he can do better.
Exactly.
Well, you know what it is, because she said you're slumming.
Yeah.
So she doesn't think that anybody that chick was good enough for him because of the reception. Because what I'm gathering from now that the father Carmine Conti is in town, they said he was like basically living off an island in Italy and stuff. Like, he's the big Mahal, and she talks about how her name is, like, she was like, if this is my name, if it was up to me, things would be run like this. So I think that she's accustomed to things being run a certain way. And she and Carlo, they think alike. Like, they're like, to her, they probably think Jimmy is soft, whereas Jimmy is a thinker.
He's strategic.
He's strategic.
And she's very much like.
But it's funny. We were just talking about that off script, and stay in your lane, Gina. You got one, and stay in it. You married Jimmy, so you knew what Jimmy was like, and you knew that Jimmy had a business that does what it does. Stay in your lane. And now you want to pop off every time something doesn't go the way you think it should go, but you're not running the business, sweetheart. Step back.
So do you guys think that her father being there with them now is going to, put pressure on Jimmy to act more?
No, I don't think so. I don't think Jimmy can give two. I started to cuss. I had a cussing spirit coming on, but I don't think Jimmy is going to acquiesce to her father. I think, her father may try to push him, may try to, persuade him to think the way Gina thinks, but Jimmy sees a bigger picture, and he realizes that, he can't just take those little battles to just satisfy his wife and his wife's father. I think that, that's how I think Jimmy will ultimately win out over all this mess.
But Jim. Oh, go ahead, Tiff.
I would say I think the father-in-law respects Jimmy too. I think he does, because at one point he was talking to the wife. She was telling him, like, he's a good man and stuff. So I think he respects him. Gina's the one I'm worried about, because she's kind of a loose cannon. If she doesn't get her way, she might try to do something to Jimmy.
I wouldn't put it past her.
I think, and I think she would be worse off, a worse boss than Jimmy. Like, because she's unhinged. Like, I think that if they were to get Jimmy out the way, if Jimmy was to die, she would go scorched earth between her and Carlo.
Yeah, I hope it doesn't come to that, but I could definitely see her going that far.
Yeah, and then she'd probably put Carlo as the front, and then puppeteering in the back. Yep. And it's just going to destroy everything. That business will be short-lived.
She just wants someone she can control.
Yeah.
But Jimmy showed that he has a little fiery side too, because it was really getting to him how much attention she was giving it to Michael. She cut his hair for him, and then he was kind of consoling her about how her parents screwed up the event and everything, and so he was hugging. Jimmy's like watching from across the room, steaming. So he pulled him in and threatened him and whatnot. But Michael was telling him, he was questioning how Michael had gotten out of prison, and he was like, I was going to kill myself. They didn't want my blood on their hands, but don't let that stop you. Michael really played it up.
And you know what?
If you kill me, kill me.
I was thinking the same thing. I said to myself, if I were Michael, the very first thing I would say to him, I was trying to kill myself. Because that right there, that puts the brakes on everything. And getting back to that haircut, though, the man needed a quick haircut.
But he looked good. When he came to that, he looked good. I like his beard and his hair and everything when he came in a sharp suit. He looked good.
Yeah, he looked nice and clean. And what did they say he looked like? What was it?
They said he looked like
Saddam Hussein.
Yes, right.
So he does clean up nice, but you can see how Jimmy's family really means a lot to him, and especially his daughter, since they not on the same page right now. But to see her showing Michael all this affection, it really sparked that jealousy inside of him. But ultimately, he decided he was going to kill Michael.
It's a man and his daughter. That's a bond that is, a lot stronger than glue. And so when, and as much as Jimmy is trying to do to win over his daughter, and he sees that she's just pushing, further back, and then to see her loving up and embracing some dude that you don't like in the first place, yeah, that'll rub him the wrong way. But Michael has to be very careful of that, or mindful, I should say, of that relationship, and even perhaps try to talk Thea into, look, this is your dad, and in as much you may not agree with what he's doing or what he's done, he's still your father. And if you want to have a relationship, or I should say, if you want a relationship that is going to include me, this child, and your dad, you're gonna have to show your dad a little more than, pushing him away and loving on me. That's not gonna work.
Listen, she's loving on him now too, because she also believes that he's innocent and that he's nothing like her family. She does not know that Adam killed her brother.
Right.
So once all that stuff comes out too, the truth that Adam was the one that killed her brother, and that Judge was the one covering up stuff, she's gonna say, you're no different than them.
Right. That's a good point. She's
gonna feel a different way about Michael if she ever learns the truth.
And
that's a really good point.
Yeah, it's a good point. And she'll be right too.
Yeah, and Ron, I can see that conversation that you just said between Michael and Thea coming. That could be next week, because I think Michael is going to be interested in preserving himself after what Jimmy did to him this week. So he might have a talk with Thea. I'm like, look, you need to figure things out, or else I can't be around y'all.
Michael just needs to wake up. He's still in this fog, and about
he's still grieving.
And you're absolutely right. He is grieving, but also he has to be aware of his surroundings. He has to be aware of where he is. You're put into this dangerous situation because Olivia doesn't have the smarts to care about you. And so she just wants to get what she wants. And she's putting you in harm's way at almost every move. You're smart enough to know that something was amiss. So you go to the bathroom and you check yourself, and here you find a recording. So that ought to tell you right there.
No, she told him because she knew about the conversation with Gina, when she was like, don't worry about Gina. Jimmy wants you there. So that let him know that she overheard the conversation.
That's what right.
Looking for.
Exactly.
And it seems like, Michael's being watched on both ends, because just like Olivia kind of slipped up and let him know that she already had heard the conversation, Jimmy slipped up a little bit when he dropped him off at home, and he was like, how did you know I was staying with my mother-in-law?
Right.
So he's constantly under surveillance.
I wouldn't be surprised about that, because if he went to jail and he's a mob boss and now he's mysteriously out of jail and stuff, I would want to know where he's staying, what's his next move, this, that, and the other. The thing about Michael, though, Michael, when he pulled the gun on Michael at the end, Michael was ready to go. Like Michael, he already wanted to kill himself. He doesn't really have anything to live for. I think the only reason why he is cooperating right now is because he's trying to protect Charlie, his best friend. He was like, so he's trying to protect Charlie, and then now, of course, now that he knows that he's a grandfather, that's another thing that can help him want to stay around longer. But for the most part, he's really just staying around trying to help Charlie, save Charlie's life.
And Jimmy too, even though he has that angry spirit about Judge Michael, he also understands if he kills Michael, if he thinks Thea doesn't like him now,
right.
If Thea finds out that you harmed or killed Michael,
he can forget about
it. You can forget that.
She would really be unhappy with that decision.
And I know he knows that.
Yeah, so that might have been what stopped him as well.
I believe so.
But if we get into the second portion of this episode, this whole ordeal that's going on with Eugene and Big Mo and Lil Mo. So obviously they're Lil Mo and Trey are in jail. They're trying to figure out how they're gonna get out. And Big Mo keeps calling Eugene, Lil Mo's phone that Eugene has, and he's not picking up initially. So Tiffany, you were kind of right there. But ultimately, we know that Lil Mo kind of works things out so that the cop she has in her pocket gets the boys out of jail.
Well, I also told y'all that Lil Mo had to contact. I mean, no, not Lil Mo.
The Eugene. Yeah, y'all were right. I thought about
Eugene.
y'all.
I said Eugene had to. I
said
he had to
her.
minimize his death threats. And
well, he didn't call. He just showed up on her step with the money.
Yeah, right. Which is even better. I said he had to minimize his death threats by either calling or somehow contacting Big Mo to let her know I got the money.
And I think Eugene realized that either way he was in danger because Roderick showed up.
That's why I said minimize, which is why I said minimize your death threats. Not doesn't take them away. Doesn't take them away. But your biggest death threat was with Big Mo. Because if you ran with that money, you can forget everything.
Well, I was never for running with the money. I just was like getting the money back to her without me having to call her. Without me having to do that. But I think even her coming back, which was cool. I think it gave him some cool points with Mo.
Yeah.
However, she was still going to kill that little boy. But anyway, him coming back to town, when he's supposed to be dead, with Jimmy's family around and stuff like how much y'all want to bet that they gonna get wind of the fact that he's in town,
right?
Like, even if he tries to get on the move now, I think it's going to come out that he is not that he's still alive, and that's the danger. Like, he got the money back to her and everything, but him coming back to New Orleans and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh no.
And it's. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say that he can't go back to Sheila. She already has her house ransacked by Roderick or whoever ran up in there, tore her place up. And she said, she told Lil Mo the only condition that she was willing to accept Eugene was if he didn't come with any problems. And clearly he's coming with some problems.
Yeah, but that wasn't his fault.
It wasn't his fault.
That was Little Mo stuff. So he's a little boy. So I think he might be all right.
Right, but in Sheila's eyes, I think she's like, it's you and everybody associated with you. I don't need that stress.
Yeah, I started to say Sheila would probably be that shield that he needs because they seem to have a lot of respect for her. And it would be unfortunate if he can't go back and deal with her. But in my opinion, with this money thing, you drop and you run. You don't you do not hang around. You be like, here's your money. I got a ticket out to hell somewhere. I don't know where I'm going, and you don't need to know either. I'm just out. Here's your money.
Look,
out it. I'm done.
If I was Eugene, I would have dropped that bag on the doorstep, rang the doorbell, and ran. Hey, she wouldn't have even needed to greet me.
Merry Christmas.
Exactly.
Put a Christmas card on the bag. Merry Christmas. I'm out.
Yeah, because like you said, Tiffany, I still really believe that Big Mo might do some harm to Eugene as well. Like, he got it coming from all angles. I don't know that. I think Mo would be appreciative that he dropped the money off, but still she knows that he can't be found alive, and she was gonna kill him anyways.
Right. So, she still operates by a code. And so not only would she want to punish him, but punish Normo.
You took the words out of my mouth. You took the words right out of my mouth. I started to say, Little Mo better watch his back because Big Mo has had enough of him.
Family.
Hey, and she doesn't look like she can care 2 cents about killing anybody. So Little Mo need to watch his back too because she's through with him.
Yeah, it was a bit shocking to hear like how long it had been since she had spoken to Sheila. It was over 10 years. And so I'm like, well, clearly like Lil Mo values the street code more than like a family code. And so it's like, I was thinking about that with Lil Mo, like would she spare him or would she just like try to teach him a lesson or something like that versus like going overboard and maybe killing him or something like that. So I don't know. I really hope that she wouldn't go that far.
We'll see.
Right. We'll see.
We'll see. But it was that comment she made earlier when she gave him that money. She basically said you already had, one strike or two, however many there were. But it didn't seem like she was willing to take too many more, strikes with Little Mo. It would seem like if this fails, you're done.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to next week seeing what comes up. This is getting intense.
Oh, yeah.
On a lot of sides, I'm still interested in seeing how Michael is going to proceed and get through the situation. I'm worried about Charlie now that he has been compromised or seemingly compromised in the eyes of the public. We know Gina still got, wrath on her mind. So it's going to be difficult. And I don't know if Big Mo is going to get that bar. So we'll see. I cannot wait to see how that negotiation goes down.
Yeah. And that guy, that's another threat, that Roderick guy. The fact that he, came and ransacked the house and all that stuff, and the way he was trying to shake Eugene down. That guy is dangerous too. Like, he's dealing with the cartel. Like, they got a whole lot of threats going on. They got the Baxters, and then they got the Roderick guy and stuff. Like, it's getting real.
Yeah, Little Mo would do real good to kill that guy. At this point, you got to get rid of him.
Well, the thing about that is,
you got to answer to the people that he reports to, though. Like,
yeah,
he's dealing with cartel. So you kill him, then you bringing down the weight of. And I know that Mo got her people. I just don't know that she has the force behind her that to deal with cartel and stuff.
Well, you remember now what Little Mo said when he found out that this dude broke, just ran, kind of ransacked the house, or not so much ransacked the house, but just made his way through the house. And he said, I promise you I'm going to deal with this. Well, really, Little Mo, there's only one way you can deal with him.
You gotta go.
He's gotta go.
And the crazy part is, I don't even think Mo, I don't think if she's aware of how dangerous this guy is, she sure don't act like she's bothered by it. Yeah. The fact that she just reneged on this deal and was like, oh well, get my money back, is said and done. Like, she's not seemingly worried about the fact that she went back on her word. So if I want to see if it's going to come to a head where Roderick will actually come to New Orleans and confront either Lil Mo or Big Mo about ditching the deal. So that's what I want to see, because that would be interesting too, because we haven't really seen Big Mo have to get her hands too dirty against like a real formidable opponent. Like, we know the Baxters played this little game, where they do undercuts to Mo, but we haven't seen it like really get down and dirty between them in the streets with the guns and the violence and all of that stuff. So we have no way to really size up how many men that Mo has or how strong her team is. So like you said, Tiffany, it doesn't seem like she has a lot of force behind her, but she definitely talks a big game.
Well, she has backing because New Orleans, that's her area. So I don't want to make her seem like a lightweight. She does have backing, but she has home court advantage in her territory, at least in the ninth quarter where they stay. But we talking about cartel,
right? That's another story.
But being who he is, he's not that high on the cartel list, probably. So it depends. Like you said, I don't know where he is in that position, but if he's just a player, it's possible to get rid of him and not have the repercussions. It just depends on how high up he is.
People, people come looking for people. we talk about Ozark. When Dale disappeared, then Helen came. They're like, well, what happened to Dale? Like, it was questions back in Mexico. Like, what happened to so and so?
You need You need that Ruth spirit when that happens.
Right. That's what I'm saying. But did you see what happened to Ruth? So that's what I'm saying. Like there's always going to be repercussions. You can disappear people. Javi, you can disappear people, but there are always repercussions.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I want to see what happens. I'm always kind of like on the edge of my seat thinking about what could go down. So I'm looking forward to next week, especially since it's getting towards mid-season. You know, we know most of these shows, once we hit episode 5, it's like takeoff. So I'm excited to see what goes down. I really enjoyed this episode. I think it's helping to see how the tension is building between all of these characters. So I enjoyed it a lot. Do you guys have anything else you wanted to add?
Good.
No, this is a really good season. I'm on the edge of my seat too.
Yeah. In fact, every episode was had some thriller in it. You know, it's and that's not usual. You know, usually we have to wait till, like you said, the round of middle of the season to when it starts getting, you know, exciting and thrilling. But this it's been pretty good since day one.
Yeah, pretty solid. So good job to everyone involved. I also want our viewers to go down into the comment section and give us your thoughts on this episode and your predictions for later on this season as well. Also, like I said earlier on, make sure you're subscribed to this channel. Click the like button and the notification bell so you get alerted whenever we post. Also, follow us on social media. We are at The Spot Real Talk on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, everywhere. So follow us and keep up with what we got going on. And I think if you guys don't have anything else to add, we are going to call it a night. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you again next week.
All
right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. I'm the baddest chick. I'm not a thick. I'm about my business.